Well, hello, and welcome to the PJH Writing Command Center for another podcast episode from God Bless the Keg Publishing LLC. And I am Paul John Hausleben of God Bless the Keg Publishing LLC. I am the flagship author, chief photographer, music reviewer, music critic, chief cook, bottle washer, do everything guy here at God Bless the Keg Publishing LLC with a little help from my friends. Friends, where are the friends today? Friends, wake up! Out of there. You know, the friends were so enamored with our guest friend star here today. They lost the cue. They lost the cue. So at any rate, if you are a first time, and I'll explain that more in a second. If you're a first time tuner-inner, if that's even a word, then welcome. If you're a first time, if you're a long time listener, a subscriber, then welcome back. And we're thrilled you're here to join us for this special podcast episode with the great Jeff. The musical wizard has joined us here in the PJH Writing Command Center, and we're very excited about that. Absolutely. But before we get started, and I have a story, I'm going to unmute Jeff here. So welcome, Jeff. It's just wonderful to have you back here today. How are you today?
I'm doing perfect. It's a wonderful day outside. I'm talking to a friend. I'm talking about music. What could be better?
Yeah, we're going to, well, if you won the lottery, did you win the lottery?
You got to play to win.
Hey, that's a good point. But yeah, we're thrilled to have Jeff back here, and Jeff's going to talk about some music, our favorite subject. But before we get into all that, and I do have a story, Jeff. I was talking about bloopers before we recorded, but I got to tell you a good one from last week. Anyway, let me rattle all these pages, and please get your little Orphan Andy decoder pins out, because this podcast is proudly sponsored by Corporate Facilities Group Incorporated, the leader in technical consulting, facilities maintenance, facilities management, and operations, as well as property maintenance and management services throughout America. And now CFG Incorporated is proud to announce a new department, a new initiative, headed up by the amazing Mr. Steve McMillan. Let's give it up for old Steve Aruski. I actually talked to Steve Aruski very early this morning because of a contractor that's driving poor Steve crazy. But anyway, Steve brings his many years of experience as he manages pre-construction services and estimating for residential development, residential renovations, and light commercial projects for CFG Incorporated. So before you spend big bucks on a project, let old Steve Aruski check out the contractor scope and price to make sure your hard-earned money is going in exactly the right place. Check them out on the web at www.corporatefacilitiesgroup1.com. That's www.corporatefacilitiesgroup1.com. And we would like to thank Lydia, Steve, Liliana, Smokey the kitty cat, and Summer the doggy for sponsoring the podcast, and CFG Incorporated down there in beautiful Marietta, Georgia. Have you ever been to Marietta?
Not Marietta. I've been to Atlanta. That's
your Georgia.
That's the only thing so far.
But you like Savannah.
I love Savannah, but I've never been there. I love it in theory.
We have to talk about that one. And near and dear to both Jeff and I's heart is that May 2026 is Military Appreciation Month. A special time for those in and out of the military. It is a month designated to honor and recognize the contributions, sacrifices, and service of the members of the armed forces, both past and present. And an organization that we support, Paulie supports, and God Bless the Keg Publishing, the Wounded Warrior Project is the nation's leading veteran service organization dedicated to improving the total well-being of post-9/11 wounded, ill, and injured veterans, service members, and their families. Our innovative programs and life-changing services strengthen mental, physical, emotional, and financial wellness, empowering warriors and their loved ones to thrive while helping to prevent veteran suicide. So please check them out at www.woundedwarriorproject.org. And during the month of May 2026, all proceeds, royalties from my book, Flying, are donated to the Wounded Warrior Project. And I thank you for the support. And next month, which is, I guess, right around the corner, right, Jeff? I mean, it's the 30th, right?
2 more days. 2 more days.
2 more days. So right around the corner, but it was Military Appreciation Month. So in June, we'll go back to our regular schedule. If you have a goodwill event, a charity, a function, not for profit that you'd like Paulie to announce here on the podcast, be glad to do so. Any comments, suggestions, you want to yell at me, you want to praise me, you want to say I'm a bum, it goes to godblessthecakpublishing@gmail.com. And Jeff, before I forget, and I did mention this, when I did the Nicole Atkins, rated series, I think I told you during the week, it was like 10 minutes after I finished, I get this email. Not 10 minutes, I'm exaggerating, New Jersey exaggeration. A listener sends, Paulie, it was fantastic, loved it, got to check her out and all that stuff, but you said this was the second best debut album that you ever listened to. And you were a ding dong. You didn't tell us what the first one was. So I was guilty as charged. The best debut album that Paulie is going to rate is the English band Keane, their debut Hopes and Fears. So I've corrected that malfunction by myself, Jeff. And I apologize to the listener. Thank you for catching me on that.
I like Keane. You love Keane. So
I love Keane. And, I looked up they haven't gotten back in the studio for, I think, 4 years now. So I'm hoping that they're going to come back.
They might not have anything to say right now.
Yeah, that's very
And
true.
rather they talk about something or sing about something that's incredible.
Yep.
They just put out something.
Yeah, just to put out the junk too. So I want to tell you a quick story here. So last week, I always have these things that happen here in the Writing Command Center before I go to record. And I get all this crazy stuff. So the ice cream guy always comes by. I think he tortures me on purpose. But I guess it was the Memorial Day podcast. No, it couldn't have been. It had to be Nicole Atkins because it was a Saturday. And I hear all this yelling and screaming out in front of the Writing Command Center. I was like, what's going on? And I look, and 3 stoops down, there was a woman on this front stoop screaming at the poor mailman, this young fella who's the Saturday guy. And she's just berating this poor guy. And the mail guy was very nice. Blast him because apparently she didn't get this package that she ordered something and it didn't come in. And he's like, ma'am, I just deliver what's on my truck. You need to look up your tracking. You need to go to the post office. You need to check the company, whatever. I can't do anything about it. I don't load my truck. I just deliver what they put on it overnight. It's not there. She was relentless. And finally, the young man just held his hand up. He said, go to the post office right around the corner. My supervisor's on duty. Well, I guess she did that because about 15 minutes later, just when I'm recording, more screaming and yelling, and she's back out on the front stoop. And this time it was like a supervisor guy. And he's basically saying the same thing. Ma'am, I personally went through everything in the post office looking for your package. It's not there. Contact the company, check the shipping, the tracking. I can't do anything about it. It's not in the post office. And she just let him have it with everything she had. And I'm sitting here waiting to record. But the best part, this guy was amazing. And now I'm sitting on the front stoop, just like waiting for it, as are a lot of neighbors, because everybody's like, what the heck's going on? And he finally just says, ma'am, I've helped you all I can. You seem a little angry, which seemed like an understatement. He says, I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts. Would you like a smoothie? He says, I'm going to buy you a smoothie. And she starts screaming at him, I don't want no smoothie. And he said, okay. So one of the neighbors sitting on the stoop's like, I'll take a smoothie. I wanted to bring him to the pub for a pint of Guinness. But at any rate, so far, let's hope the mail package was finally delivered, Jeff. So, any rate, okay, so let's get into it. We have a rated series here with the great Jeff, the musical wizard, and Jeff is going to talk about, and we're settling on a title, but going to be Overlooked Gems from Jeff's incredible mind on music, his collection. He has all CDs here, and he has some props. He has some props. Jeff brought props to school today. So, Jeff, welcome again, and we're really happy you're here. I'll let you go into an intro of what you're going to talk about, and maybe your methodology of how you came about this.
Well, first, of course, I brought props. This is a non-visual medium, so of course I brought things to
I
show
love
you.
that. Someday we'll do a video, right?
But I mean, basically, there are songs, albums that were incredible that some people never heard of. There are some albums that people heard of, but remember back in the 80s when we used to listen to that. Remember back in the 90s
Right.
when we used to listen to that, and it's not listened to anymore. And these are great, great albums by great, great artists that we've somehow forgotten.
Okay.
They're forgotten gems.
Okay.
And so I just came up with 2 honorable mentions and
Okay.
5 different other albums, and I thought we could talk about it.
Yeah. So that's. I think I did an underappreciated gem too, and I think Keen was in that
Yeah,
one.
it was.
So, what is the genres? What is the dates of
Well-
this, Jeff? How far back did you go? I mean, you're not going back to like big band era, are you?
Not really, but there is some.
Okay.
There is some mention.
Awesome.
I have things going back as far as the '60s, '70s, and then most of this is '80s and '90s. I think only one of them is in the 2000s, but it's a hodgepodge of mostly post-punk, new wave, that sort of
Okay.
stuff, with some touchbacks, some callbacks to 2 of these particular albums.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
was going to start with the first one. A lot of what I have here are not great singers. They're good singers. They're enjoyable. They're fun to watch. They're fun to listen to.
Right.
So I thought I should put at least one. Oh my God, she can carry a tune. She's better than that. She's incredible.
Right.
So my first one.
So this is your unmentioned.
This is my first.
So,
unmentioned.
for the listeners might be tuned into the Rated for the first time, the Paulie rules are we go 5-1, with 5 being a very overlooked gem and 1 being super overlooked. So, but we always do pick some unmentions because doing 5-1 is tough, as Jeff has testified, Frankie T, myself, but we believe it eliminates a lot of the fluff and it gets down to the nitty gritty, but it's not easy to do. It takes a lot of patience and research and you said you changed one last night. So
Yep.
very difficult, but okay. So Jeff, and you're going to hand me the CD once you do this. Is that what you're going to do?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
My
Unmentioned.
First unmentioned is another incredible first album. You said the first one was Keen. I'm going to say it was Annie Lennox, Diva. Great, great songs.
Oh, wow.
Great, great album. I don't typically go for a lot of soul and blues type singing. And at that time, there really wasn't a lot of it out there. I mean, you had people like Alison Moyet, who was
Okay.
from, who was known as Alf, also was part of Yazoo. But everybody else they were stars. They were singers. They were performers. But nobody was a singer.
Right.
At that time, it seemed to me. And later on, it became popular again with like Amy Winehouse, with Adele. These women who just had the pipes, they had the throat.
Nicole Atkins.
Nicole Atkins, of course.
Can I see it?
Sure, of course. Here is Diva.
So it's Diva. So
Yep.
this is from what, 1992. Okay. All right. I'm just looking through, see if I see any of the cuts that I recognize, and I do not.
Well, I mean, the big ones were Why, Broken Glass, Little Bird. There were a lot of songs.
Okay.
This was her opportunity. Was getting away from her ex-bandmate, and was she just his prop? Was she just the singer for his genius? Well,
Right.
she was a genius in her own right. She was able to write these songs. She was able to co-write these songs, produce these songs with the producer. I mean, I'm not saying she did everything.
Right.
But hey, look at me. I can do this. I've proven it to you. What I do next, that's up to me.
No, awesome. Great
And-
voice, of course.
Great
of course.
voice. And there's one song on here which I absolutely love.
Okay.
It's called Young and Beautiful.
Young and Beautiful.
Keep Young and Beautiful. It was from I forget the name, Roman Scandals, 1933, Eddie Cantor song.
Wow. Okay.
And so she redoes it, but she's doing it with irony. It's the whole thing is keep young and beautiful. It's a pleasure to be beautiful, and basically trying to they said women just need to be this.
Yeah, Lana Del Rey did that Young and Beautiful that she wrote for the Great Gatsby movie. So, and she never released that, to my knowledge, on an album. It was just in the soundtrack. So awesome.
But the wonderful thing about that one is it's sarcasm.
Right.
If you just listen to the words, it's you need to have a curl in your hair. You need to have a beautiful smile.
Right.
And she's like, "What is this garbage? What is this crap?
Right.
I'm more than this, but I'm going to sing it with a smile and a smirk."
Nice.
And it was beautiful. And this was also the first album I recall where every single song had a video. You could go out
Really?
and buy the entire video of all the songs. It's not a story, but she was one of the first ones to realize I don't just have to put up one album, one song, one video.
Right.
They're all getting videos.
Nice.
And she got people like John Malkovich
Mhm.
starred in one of the videos. Hugh Laurie from House.
Right.
He was in
right.
it. So it was beautiful to listen to. It's a beautiful experience.
Right.
I love this album, but I hadn't listened to it in forever. So I looked through my stuff. She's going to be on my list.
All right. Good. So on mention, we got Annie with
Yep.
Diva. Okay. What's up next, Jeff?
Okay. Joy Division.
Joy Division. I've heard, but right over my head.
Perfect. Right now they are being accepted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
3 out of the 4 members were in Joy Division. They then, after the 4th member died, became New Order.
Okay.
They were really one of the first post-punk bands. And punk was a reaction to prog.
Right.
Something we both love,
Right.
admire, but it got overwhelmed.
Right.
You call it
Pretentious.
pretentious, and Rick Wakeman and his twiddly bits.
Yeah. It's just too much after a while. Yeah.
So from prog came punk, which is here are 3 notes. Go form yourself a band.
Right. And build everything around 3 notes. Yeah.
Exactly. But this band took that challenge and ran with it. They only had 2 albums. The first one was Unknown Pleasures, which I don't know if you know, but you would probably know the picture of the album, and I'll show you that in a
Okay.
little while. And the other one is Closer.
All right.
That was the second album.
Wow, Jeff's got vinyl here and everything. All right, I like the cover art. Not sure what's going on here, but it's beautiful.
Well, that is a marble statue that was done that, it's a crypt, for lack of a
yeah,
better
I
term.
see that.
They had 4 members of the band. The lead singer of the band, Ian Curtis,
Okay.
had epilepsy. I think they said he was bipolar, or at least he was depressed. Had drug issues, was getting divorced from his wife.
Oh my.
A lot was going on in his life, and he only found out he had epilepsy when he was on stage,
Okay.
and he started having
Inopportune moment.
inopportune moment. But that also was like, hey, he can dance pretty interesting. Well,
Right.
guess why? But a lot of their stuff is dark. A
Dark.
lot of their stuff is a little morose. It's not the beginning of goth, but it was definitely there waiting for goth to happen.
Right.
And I mean, lots of bands around that time. Simpson, Depeche Mode, Bauhaus. Said those 2 albums, they helped me decide what I wanted to do. They became the first post-punk band 2 albums. And now 50 years later, they're with 2 albums being nominated and making the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Well,
They
that's
did-
a little crazy.
Well, I mean,
But, yeah,
well, part of it is that
I don't want to go on a rant. You'll have to use the dart gun.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
How many band members, Jeff?
4 band members.
4?
There was Ian, there was Peter, there was Stephen, and there was Bernard.
Instruments?
Lead singer, drums. Stephen Morris is one of those guys. He's better than having a drum track. He's that on. He's almost mechanical.
And I know that name for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. Bernard Sumner.
He's bass?
No, he played keyboards. He also played some guitar.
Okay.
After Ian died, he took over lead vocals. But then there's Peter Hook. Peter Hook discovered for himself a different way to play the bass. Most bass players, that's a generalization. I take that back. Some bass players just do the lower end and they're keeping the beat.
Right.
He said, screw the beat. Sorry about that.
Mhm.
He played high end of the bass. A lot
Okay.
of stuff. Basically, if you
So he's wandering up and down the board.
well, but mostly he's playing in the up the board.
Okay.
And if you listen to any of New Order or Joy Division, the guitar you hear, that's the bass player. The bass you hear, that's actually on the keyboards.
Oh,
They
okay.
took the same music that they were writing and played it in unique and different ways.
And how about like time signatures? Did they wander around, or is it mostly standard 4/4s, or are
A
they?
lot of it was standard 4/4 when they were in Joy
Right.
Division. When they became New Order, they got more into the beats, and some of their music towards the end of, I don't want to say the end of, but towards the end of their popularity, their big popularity, it was dance music.
Right.
But it was a natural progression of them taking that 4/4 and changing it into what can we make it? Songs like Blue Monday, which you may have heard. Things like, I'm blanking out on the next one.
I don't think I've ever heard a cut by this band.
Well,
I mean, I'm going to spin these all, and maybe they'll come back to me. But yeah, so fantastic. So are they UK based?
They are UK based.
Yeah.
They're from Manchester, as we call
Oh
it. Manchester.
no! Oh my goodness! I hope they weren't Man United fans.
Of course they were.
Well, I might not spin this one, Jeff, on second thought. It's better than Liverpool.
I think you would enjoy Joy Division. I think you will like more so New Order. They had more hits. They had more fun with the music, and it shows. But the thing is, they're broken music for broken people. I've said that before last time when we did this. This is not happy, trees and the sunshine.
Right.
And
I'm in love. Let's pick flowers. Yeah.
This is their biggest hit was called Love Will Tear Us Apart.
Little deep, little dark.
Great song. Love it. It is probably the best song of the 80s, but it came out in 1979. But it was perfect.
Wow.
He killed himself on the night before they were supposed to do their first tour in America.
Terrible.
It was too much for him.
Yeah.
And if I could go back in time to save one or two people in this world, he would be one of them. It's simply just, I'd like to save Picasso. I'd like to save him.
Yeah.
These men who killed themselves and didn't realize how much they touched the world.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. Badfinger, all that tragedy.
Both the members of Badfinger who hung themselves, sadly, both in a garage. I've heard rumors it was both by the same rope.
Yeah, terrible. So one question on the keyboards, and you mentioned, that it kind of got danceable, but was it synth sounds, or is it
most definitely
is it synthesizer? It's analog or digital?
Towards the original analog.
Right.
New Order, it was more of a digital thing. One of their best videos that I occasionally watch, the drummer doesn't play drums at all, but he's keeping a perfect beat on keyboards and on MIDIs and on other things. At one point, the one girl's playing this background sound, and it's frogs. And you think, frogs, ribbit. But it works. Yeah. But the thing is, they have fun with it. Barney, Bernard Sumner, admits he's not the world's greatest singer.
Right.
But I'll give it a try.
Nice.
Peter, not the world's greatest bassist, but listen to this. And Stephen, he was the beat.
Right. Nice.
It's fantastic. I will get you a New Order CD to listen to, but you can listen to all of these that I've brought to you, except for, of course,
the vinyl. I can't spin vinyl anymore here. So, all right. So there's your honorable mention. So this is number 5.
Hey, we're the Monkees.
Oh, wow. I love it. All right. Well, this one I know. This one I know. I'm so interested in your take on the Monkees, Jeff.
Well,
go ahead.
Their last hurrah, for lack of a better word, was a movie/album called Head. So we can avoid all those jokes.
Yeah.
We're not going to say a single one of them. But it was a movie they made about the falseness of Hollywood. If you watch the movie, you're either going to love it because it's going to tickle you in that funny bone, or you're going to go, oh my God, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
I love it. But it's the music that draws me in. This was not Voice and Heart. This was not Neil Diamond.
Right.
This was real music by real authors. What's the word? Songwriters.
Right.
Carole King writes 2 of the songs for the album.
Brill Building.
Brill. Yeah, Brill Building. And Harry Nilsson writes one of the songs. And it's such a Harry Nilsson song, it's not even funny. But the first song is called Porpoise Song. This is a song where in the very first couple of minutes of the movie, the Monkees killed themselves by jumping off of a bridge.
Right.
Land in the water. Now it's the Porpoise Song. And Mickey's just singing about how great it is. Splish, splash. But it pulls you in because it's superior writing sung by a decent singer.
Right.
Enjoying themselves. Again, suicide, a little dark. But they have a thing called Diddy Diego. And they start off, hey, we are the Monkees. And sure, we're here to please a manufactured image with no philosophies. I mean, so they're laughing at themselves.
Yeah.
And that was written by Jack Nicholson.
Really?
He was the assistant director on the movie.
So do you think that this was a counter to Yellow Submarine?
This was a counter to what everybody thought about them. This was right after they had fully left the TV show no longer existed.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
what can we be? What can we do? Let's try some things that we want to try.
Yeah.
There's a song on there called Circle Sky. Circle Sky, Mike Nesmith. It's an anti-war song. He was there to protest the Vietnam War. And so they sing the song and they go perform it in front of a crowd.
Right.
And he's up there, Circle Sky. At the same time, they show the audience. They're all, we want the monkeys. We want Davy. I mean, the wrong audience for what he was trying to say.
Sure. Yeah.
And these were 8 and 12-year-olds, and he was talking about let's end the war. They're
Right.
killing people.
Yeah, they
over
want to
there.
see the handsome young fella. Yeah.
Exactly. So
And I'm a fan of Papa Nez, and he has a number. What was the name of his band? Oh gosh, it went out of my head.
it was
Like American something.
I don't know, but he had read
First National Band, the First National Band. So, but he has a solo album without the First National Band called Tropical Campfires. And he actually plays a lot of old time crooner music on there, and he does a really good job. I think Mike Nesmith was a great talent.
He was an underrated talent. He was one of the first people to think, hey, music and video. He did a thing called Elephant Parts. And it was just, hey, here are some songs. Here's something to tell you the story of the song as you're looking at it. And he kept his sense of humor about it while he was doing it. So some of it was very serious. Some of it was, hey.
Could I see that?
Of course.
They seem to be a bunch of guys who really kind of got along pretty good and really had fun.
Well, I think they did, but I think also that's because 3 of them were exactly who they were.
Yeah.
You had 2 very serious musicians, Peter and Mike.
Right.
You had Mike, who was a leader. He was a very strong, opinionated, strong-willed person.
Yeah.
Mickey, he's been doing this all of his life, circus boy to the Monkees, and then you have Davy. Davy is
the handsome guy,
the handsome British crooner, which is why the song he sang was Daddy's song, talking about being, having a father who loves you but disappears. So, I mean, there's still some darkness going on,
right?
But the entire time he's just out there singing and tap dancing and Harry Nilsson songs, so it has to be a little maudlin.
I love it. All right, well, that one surprised me. So we got the Monkees ahead. So what's up next?
Number 4. Okay, back in the 90s.
Okay,
maybe early 80s through 90s. There was a lot going on the southern seaboard of America when it came to some music. You had the REM down in Athens. You had some regional bands that were making their names. And it seemed like once a year, one band got big, and once a year, a whole bunch of them did not. This is the Connells. This is called Fun and Games.
Okay. So we have the Connells Fun and Games. Unusual cover art. Wow. Well, so tell me about these guys. What do we got?
Have you ever heard of them?
I have never heard of them.
In college, they were one of the bands that I saw them more times than I've seen any other band in concert.
No kidding. And you went to college in Richmond.
Went to college
in Richmond, Virginia.
But being a North Carolina band, they were up and down the seaboard a lot. And then they, of course, went further than that. And I'm using an REM line. They were I hate to say it, a nearly was and almost ran. Had it not been for REM at that time, would they have been the band that broke? Would they have been the jangly pop rock? But that album right there, Fun and Games, they have other ones, Bowling Heights. Oh, it's wonderful. It's beautiful. It makes you feel happy to be alive, even when they're not being that happy in some of the songs.
Right.
They had a second album. Third one is Fun and Games.
So
there's not a bad track on that. There's a lot of things I would say. This is the weak song. There is not a weak song on there.
Awesome. Are they short songs, Jeff? Are they
most
like
minutes,
REM?
2 to 3 minutes.
2 to 3
maybe
minutes.
One or two that's a little bit longer.
And tell me about the band. 3-piece, 4-piece?
5-piece.
5-piece. Oh gosh.
Lead singer.
2 rhythms.
Doug. You had Mike Connell and his brother David. You had George Huntley, who played keyboards and guitar, and P.O. Wembley, who was the drummer. All wrote music.
Right.
The two main singers, songwriters were Mike Connell and George Huntley.
And wrote all their own?
They wrote all their own. I don't think there's a cover on that. And I don't know if there's a cover on any of their albums.
Okay.
The biggest song you may have heard from them was 74, 75. And that came out in the late 90s.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell. But, I think I've shared with you, one of my fellow writers, music reviewer, when I wrote the blog and we wrote for the websites, he always made the point, and we were talking about post-punk, punk, the fading away of prog, and then true rock and roll, whatever emerges is left. And he made the point that as they moved into the 80s, that REM held together, if you want to call it, the jingly jangly rock sound from the college radio stations and the college scene and the garage bands, and Dire Straits held together true rock and roll with a little blues influence on the other side. So he said without those two bands, he believed that rock would have just faded away during that era entirely. So I'm very interested that this is almost like a competitive band to REM, right?
They were a competitive band, and they used to, I think, occasionally open for them because, again, they were going up and down the same seaboard. One, of course, was a little bit more popular. You can't fault REM for trying to put out good music.
Right.
Connell's put out good music. The strange thing is Mike Connell wrote a majority of the songs. The best 4 songs on that album were done by George.
Okay.
He just has an ability, and he sings his own songs. Doug is a great singer. I'm going to take that back. He is a good singer, but he's good for that band. Another band, he might not be the best thing. George can actually carry a tune, I think a little bit better than Doug, but he wasn't a front man. But hey, I got these 4 songs, and we're going to listen to them, and you're going to love them. Sal is the best song on that entire album. Sal. And that is a George.
So do the Connells still record? Or are they around, or where are they at here?
They're still mostly in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Okay.
They do some touring occasionally. I saw them about 4 years ago. George is no longer in the band. He's now a realtor.
He's a realtor. Okay.
Mike is a lawyer. So, I mean, they have some day jobs that they go back to.
Nice.
But
I like that.
But it's one of those things. Hey, what did Dad used to do? Well, Dad used to be a rock star.
I love that. That's awesome. And the cover art, I don't know what's going on there other than it's fun and games, but it's really cool.
Well, I mean, I think it looks a little Punch and Judy.
I'm thinking one of the band members might have illustrated themselves.
I think that was George as well. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I would have to look it up.
We used to have a thing. It was in my writing circle. We called it the Awful Artists Group because we would diddle with our own cover art, and we got together and decided that we needed to stop this because none of us were any good. But the drawings were so hysterical, we called it the Awful Artists, and some of them are really appealing. This has that same feel to it. It's kind of cool.
Well, I mean, whatever it was good enough to get onto an album cover, and if that's not one of the guys from the Connells, every time it sells, I'm sure he still gets paid.
Yeah, man, I love it. All right, so that's number 4. So what do we got next?
You've listened to this man before. It's Stan Ridgway.
Oh, yes, I do like him.
I gave you the Big Heat album. That was his first one.
Right.
Which is this right here, which you have listened to.
Yes,
already.
I have.
And then I gave out Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes. This is the one you told me about.
I think it's a better album. I think both of them slightly suffer.
Oh, he's a handsome guy, Jeff.
Yeah. Whatever you're into, dude. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I got to call it as I love the bug lamp in front of him. Of being a photographer, I studied the angles and everything. It's really a beautiful photo shot here. I like it.
Well, perfect. I think that's the better album of the two. I think Big Heat has some great songs that if I could put them both together, this might be rate higher than 3. But I'm not going to do a duo album. It's Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
I've said this to you before. He sings like he's singing out the side of his mouth,
right?
Like he has just watched The Big Sleep and The Maltese Falcon, and there's someone following you.
Yeah, he's Philip Marlowe.
Yeah. Exactly, and it's very film noir. It's very dark. Again, I keep using this word because I figured this out after I did all these. A lot of my stuff is broken music for broken people. These songs,
tortured artists.
Well, there's that, but it's filled with people who. They tried, but they failed.
Right.
He's a bartender in a seedy bar. She is a stripper.
Right.
Hey, we tried to do this. We tried to say, hey, great, fantastic. It didn't work out.
Right.
But here's a song about him.
His first the first cut on that album that you loaned me, the first guy here, not the Mosquitoes.
Oh,
that's a fantastic cut. I like that cut the best.
Very, very atmospheric.
Yes.
The thing is that I've come to find about Stan Ridgway, you're inhabiting. You're not just listening. Mosquitoes, basically, you're in a town. These are the people.
Right.
It feels slightly hot.
He's a storyteller.
And this is a town that never succeeded, but hey, these are the people who live here. He has a song in there I'm going to make sure I'm on the right one, called Can't Complain. I love it. Yeah, how's it going, Bert? Not too good, Charlie. My back's gone out. I cut my finger kind of gnarly. And he's just talking about how things suck. But he's going on. But there's karmic retribution in the end. The one guy is going to get his comeuppance. And, but all things considered, I guess I can't complain. Mm-hmm. And you're listening to a man's misery, and you're enjoying it. I mean, it's just Schadenfreude as an example of life.
Right.
Things suck and then you die, but what else is there to do? Right. Sort of thing.
Right. What's the alternative? So how many records did Mr. Ridgway cut? Well, do you know?
I know roughly. He did a couple albums with Wall of Voodoo, which is where he started.
Okay, that's right. You told me that.
First album is The Big Heat. That's the first. Mosquitoes, that's the second. And then he had at least 4 more that I'm aware of, and one compilation album where he did covers, nothing but covers.
Okay.
Which he strangely, Ring of Fire. It's still out the side of his mouth.
Still out the side of his mouth, yeah.
I think on the Big Heat, he does Nadine.
Honey, yes,
Is That You?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the thing I noticed when I was listening to Mosquitoes again, I don't know if this is true. Maybe this is something I was just trying to piece together. It felt to me like there are 7 stages of grief. There's shock, denial, guilt, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
Right.
And half the songs on this album are that. You're looking at denial, calling out to Carol, that girl who got away. You're talking about guilt. Peg and Pete and Me. Peg and Pete and Me is a 3-minute encapsulation of The Postman Always Rings Twice.
Oh, okay.
And it ends with never trust a rich dead man's wife. You have anger, can't complain. He's angry. He's complaining. So
complaining the whole time.
And then there's exception. There's called Mission in Life, where the guy's, I'm a bartender. I give people the places to go. I give emotions to drink.
Right.
And then it's up to them if they drown in the tide. And again, wonderful turn of phrases here. And it's dark and it's seedy and it's beautiful.
So I think he's telling concepts, or is he telling stories? Well, is he taking a concept like you said, the 7 steps? I mean, what's the basis of his writings?
I don't think that was a concept in its own. That's something I found on my own.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I heard from Mosquitoes. He's like, you're in a desert town. These are the people who live there. This is what's going on in their lives. But is everybody happy? Well, that person's happy, but that person's not happy. That's a more interesting story
than the happy person.
There is from the previous album, and basically the line goes, "I think she did it better last year before her boyfriend broke her arm." I mean, so
a lot of dark stuff here from Mr. Stan.
Well, that's the thing. He's telling you about the weird things that are going on, but it's the story that you want to hear. Maybe all that fun and games. I mean, if you watched TV.
Right, I don't.
As soon as a couple gets together, they become boring. So you need to break them apart.
Oh, absolutely! It's the Christmas Hallmark movie. They're enemies, then they're in love, and then they have a conflict, and they break up on Christmas Eve, but they make up on Christmas Day. Yeah, it's a standard formula. I mean,
and I think it's that he'd rather talk to you about somebody falling apart than somebody getting it together.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I mentioned this artist to you, David Gray. He's Welsh. UK, and he had a debut album was marvelous, and he recorded it. It's mostly electronic in his bedroom because he was down to his last nickel, and it had a famous song called Babylon on it, and it became a big hit and still a big seller for him. And after that album, he wrote, and he is marvelously talented, but everything is dark, dreary, depressing. He does write great melodies. He's a great piano player, but my gosh, you come out of it where you want to down a bottle of whiskey because it is. And his own daughter, he wrote his last album. His daughter said, "You need to jolly it up a little bit, Dad." And his equivalent of jolly was maybe would invoke a smile one time when you listen to it. So it sounds like Stan and David Gray are mired in a little study of the dark side of life.
I see, but that's the stuff that interests me.
Yeah.
But I do remember David Gray. I don't listen to a lot of his stuff. I do remember he had one big hit, and I couldn't even remember the name of it. So
Babylon. And then he did he really got a lot of recognition from an obscure cult movie called The Girl Next Door. and he did a song called "This Year's Love," and that's like a love song on a piano, and everybody's like, "Wow, this guy's so great!" And that's probably about the happiest song he ever wrote. But I really enjoyed the first one, so I'd like to listen to.
I would lend you the vinyl, but I don't have it.
No,
I don't have it on CD.
I'll look them up. Go ahead. So that's three. We got Stan. Now we're to two, right?
We're to number 2. And this is where it goes back a couple years. Let me see. What was it? 1966.
1966. Okay.
Brian Wilson, Smile,
Ooh.
for the Beach Boys.
Okay.
Which I have his version of Smile. Back in 2004, he realized he was going to be known mostly for something he never released.
Right.
Something that he could never finish. He put it inside the drawer, and he didn't want to die with it in there. So first a little background. He wrote Smile. He did it with a lot of the members of the Wrecking Crew, Hal Blaine, Carol Kay, Tommy Tedesco, playing the background music. And he didn't write he wrote the music. Van Dyke Parks wrote most of
Van Dyke Parks.
Yeah, he wrote most of the lyrics. And this is the best thing I've ever wrote. But he also was a man whose band didn't like the music. The band made him feel inferior when he was actually, let's face it, better than all of them.
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
He is bipolar. He did have a drug problem.
Right.
And he just, I can't put this out. Nobody's going to like this. And it became the great Lost album of rock and roll.
That's fantastic.
And like I said, in 2004, don't want to die with it in a drawer somewhere. So he got back to it with Van Dyke Parks. There is a gentleman by the name of it's Darren Saharanaja.
Okay.
The band.
Glad you said that.
The band he is in is the Wonderments, and they started playing some stuff, and slowly but surely he started playing some of these songs which he hadn't played in years, and slightly pushing,
right.
Hey, that was great. He decided, I'm going to release it. He called back Van Dyke Parks. They figured out what songs were missing lyrics still.
Right.
Some of these songs have been released along the way. Good Vibrations.
Right.
Heroes and Villains. Surf's Ups. Cabanescence. Along the way they were released, but they were not the way he intended them to.
Right.
Good Vibrations, different lyrics
Yeah.
altogether.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not altogether, but very different lyrics. Still a little bit dark, which, as you know, I like.
Right, right.
And this was definitely great music from a broken man. After Smile, and he didn't release it, he went incommunicado for years, gaining the weight, hanging out at his house.
Yeah.
Dr. Eugene Landy, got into his brain something
Right.
fierce, but he got a new wife, got his stuff together, and it's like, release it. Smile is released in 2 different ways. The first way was he released the entire thing over at the Royal Albert Hall. He
Right.
played it straight through. And he still sang lead on a lot of the music. He did the harmonies, of course, because that's his thing.
That's his thing.
And while the album is good, the live version of it was magical. And he has, like I said, he had Darren in the group, but he also had, there's only one person he brought from the Beach Boys over to help him with the music.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a member of the Beach Boys, it was a member of the Beach Boys fan, Jeff Foskett, who was their guitarist after he left. And so, I mean, he wasn't abandoning the Beach Boys, but this is something I have to do, and this is the man who needs to play it for me.
Mm. Now, the first cut, Our Prayer, is that the Our Prayer?
It's inspired by. There
Inspired
is
by,
some in there, but
Mhm.
it's not a straight rendition of.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
but he does definitely sing.
I've never heard of this. And Van Dyke Parks, we're going to talk about session musicians in one of our podcasts coming up. Van Dyke Parks pops up all over the place.
He's another one of those people. Is he a genius? I don't know. Can he do some things that other people can't? Yes, he can.
He plays a lot of instruments
He
too.
plays quite a few instruments. He writes a lot. He produces.
Yeah.
But he's also one of those guys who, if you're going to look out a window, he's going to be looking out it from the side, and he's going to be singing.
Yeah.
He's going to be seeing something you don't.
Yeah,
right about it.
And I want to say he's showing up on a lot. We read the liner notes.
Yeah.
He's showing up like on Gordon Lightfoot recordings too. So, I got to research Van Dyke Parks.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this. This is fantastic. I am a Mr. Wilson fan, and like you, I'm not big on the Beach Boys, but I am a Brian Wilson fan. So. That's number 2.
I implore you to listen to that. And after you listen to it, go listen to the live version.
Absolutely, will do.
Number 1.
Number 1. Wow.
There was this group of men over in England. They said, we got a banjo player, we got a
Mm-hmm.
tin whistle player,
Mm-hmm.
we have an accordion player.
Okay.
Let's form a band.
It's not Jethro Tull either.
It's not Jethro Tull. It is the Pogues.
The Pogues. Okay. Well, wow. The
And-
Pogues. All right. Good job, Jeff. I love this.
The album I'm talking about is If I Should Fall from Grace with God. They had some albums out before.
Right.
They had albums out after. This is the creative production, writing. I'm not going to say singing because he's not that great of a singer.
But he has something.
That's the thing is you have these 8 men in that group who are top of their fields at playing their individual things. And as I heard one person say, if not for Shane McGowan in the front, these would be the best people playing the river dance music at a local discotheque, at a local
Right.
club. But with Shane brought that, oh my God, something, oh my God, what is it?
What is it? Yeah.
He wasn't a great singer. He was a self-admitted alcoholic, missing half of his teeth.
Right.
Half the time you couldn't hear what he said. Oh, is he going to scream the next line? He's going to scream the next line. And I
Right.
don't mean scream. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. And the
Um,
Irish brogue and most people know the
the Pogues.
the Pogues from the Christmas song,
Yeah,
right?
and that's one of the ones I was going to mention here because
Yeah.
again, this is them talking about the Irish experience and coming to America. And sometimes you fail.
Right.
There's a line in there, for the land of opportunity, you draw tickets in a lottery.
Mhm.
And in the if I should fall from if I should fall if in the Fairy Tale of New York, this is a man in a jail cell for being drunk
That's
and
correct.
disorderly,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's singing to his girlfriend / wife, whoever she is,
Right.
and she goes, you took my dreams from me, and she's like, I didn't take your dreams. I put them with my own. I can't make it all of them. I built my dreams around you.
Right.
Are they going to make it? Are they going to fail? There's a very good chance. I mean, because they're calling each other's names in this Christmas song.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yet somehow this song, each year in England, it's like in the top 10 Christmas songs. So it's Christmas songs over in Great Britain. It's
Yeah.
a very big thing. Who has the number one Christmas single? And they keep making it number 1, number 2, number 3, year after year after year.
Because it has a great melody.
It does.
It haunts you. That song haunts you.
You're supposed to cry a little.
You're supposed to cry a little. So when you first walked in, I play music to test the soundboard and get the software all going. I was playing Darkness on the Edge of Town by Springsteen. I'm surprised because there's so much angst in Bruce's
Yeah.
darkness and struggle. And a lot of what you selected here, there is some fun too.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, I sense a lot of darkness and struggle is your music that you enjoy.
It's what I enjoy. I mean, I've always said I'm left off center, but I enjoy the view.
Right.
And so when it comes to music, I liked punk when other people didn't like punk. And I wasn't trying to jump on a bandwagon. It was
Right.
like, what is this? This is what I like. Then it became, oh, what is that? It's really dark. Hey, that's an interesting little, and he did a great couplet there.
Right.
And so, I mean, I've always liked the strange and unusual, but that's because I'm also a little strange and unusual.
Well, yeah.
And I lean into it. I mean, I love it.
So how often do you spin the Pogues?
Every couple of months.
Every couple months.
All these
Okay.
other ones I will spin once a year or
Right.
so. I have a on my Spotify Pogues collection,
Okay.
and it's some of the songs from the other albums. The thing I like about them is when they started, they said, "Hey, we like punk." Okay, but am I hearing anything that's familiar to me? Because 2 of them are Irish.
Right.
Shane strangely isn't, but he grew up there, and so the Irish jig, the reel, the
Right.
tin whistle.
Right.
Where is it? If nobody else is going to do it, I'm going to do it. They released 2 albums, the second one being Rum, Sodomy, and the Lash,
Mm-hmm.
which is Winston Churchill's description of the Royal Navy, Rum, Sodomy, and the Lash.
Right.
The third one they got with Steve Lillywhite, who is the producer that also did that Peter Gabriel
Oh,
song,
okay.
the
Yeah.
album that we talked about last time. And again, it's 9 men, 8 great musicians, and this I'm going to say this drunken man out front who you go, why is he in the band? But as soon as he opened his mouth, you understand why, because he writes the lyrics.
Yeah, I love the photograph on the back is exceptional. It looks like a bottle of Jameson on the piano. But a lot of people don't like Rush because they can't get used to Geddy Lee's vocals. But there's something about Geddy Lee's vocals that fit the music perfectly.
Well, not half, less than half of these songs, I don't know all the words all the way through.
Right.
I love it. I'll sing along with it. I'll make it a rough approximation of what I think he's saying.
Yeah.
But like, if I should fall from grace with God, where no mortal man can find me, and he's talking about rocking upon the waves. How do you fall from grace with God if you've? And I'm not trying to get religious here,
Right.
but how do you, as a religious person, fall from grace with God? Only one or two beings have ever fallen from grace with God.
Right.
But he doesn't want any of that. And if you bury me where nobody can find me, this is where I want to be. That's a little depressing.
It is. It's deep. It's dark. So
They have another song on there called I just lost it.
that's all right. You got a lot of notes going on there, Jeff.
Can I have the album back for a second?
Yeah. Here.
Thousands Are Sailing. It is about the Irish people coming to America. He didn't write this one. Phil Chevron wrote that one. And it's, to the land of opportunity, draw tickets in a lottery. Right. He sings about Brendan Behan. He sings about were your dollars from the White House, JFK?
Right.
Or were they from the Five and Dime? These are people who they took the shot of leaving their homeland.
Sure.
We're Irish. We're now in America. We're still Irish. Fiercely proud to be Irish. The American dream was an oversell.
Right.
The streets are not paved with gold.
No. Coming from, on my mom's side, UK heritage, I can relate to the struggle.
And another thing that I'm really impressed by them, they write most of their songs. I think there are 3 different covers on this, and they do traditional, and I can't tell which.
Right.
He is so pure about his intention, as they all are, that this is Irish music. And did he write that? Thousands Are Sailing. That sounds like that could have been around since the 1920s, and it was written in the 1980s.
Right.
So, I mean, and then you have, this is my next mention of Prague. Right before they did this album, they lost their bass player. They got a new bass player, but they needed something to expand the sound. Terry Woods used to be one of the guitarists for Steel Eye Span. Right. Which is a prog group. And
absolutely.
But it was a folk prog. So he fit in with this Irish folk band perfectly. And he sang some of the other songs on here. When Shane isn't singing, you almost miss Shane singing. But he would sing those other songs, and he would write some of these other songs. And you're like, it's a perfect fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't get much better than this.
And there aren't many true prog folk. Steely Eye Span is a good example, but people lump Tull into that. Yeah. And of course, Ian Anderson will play the tin whistle very well. I mentioned the song The Whistler, but there's really only like 4 albums that I say is true prog folk with Tull. The Songs from the Woods, The Minstrels in the Gallery, Heavy Horses, that era. And I could see a lot of influence here with the Pogues, with somebody like Tull, picking up untraditional instruments. Yeah. I mean, Jethro Tull plays the glockenspiel, and I see all this different instrumentation with the Pogues, and I appreciate that.
Well, I think that they wanted to be as true to the music as they could. And you're not going to write traditional Irish music, even your own version of traditional Irish music, with things that don't belong there. You're not going to play it. You're going to play it on the drums. You're not going to play it on electric drums. You're going to be back there. You're going to be bashing out those heads.
Right.
And another great thing about them, in almost every song, if you listen to them, somebody's going to be screaming their head off at one point or another.
Right.
And because they do not shy away from the fact that sometimes being Irish can be seen as being very romantic. But at the same point, sometimes being Irish, traditionally, not necessarily truly, have a reputation. You have a James Joyce, you have George Bernard Shaw, you have Brendan Behan. You have these great men who all suffered for their art.
Right.
Some of it was alcohol, some of it was insanity, some of it was just their own hubris.
Right.
And they don't hide from that. I don't think Shane drank because he wanted to be a terribly romantic, and I'm a poet and I'm going to die from beer. But he was a poet and he died from beer.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody should admire that, but that's what it is, and that's the truth. And that's the truth as he saw it.
What do you think the legacy of the Pogues is?
Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah, we took it. That was going to be my next question, Jeff. And what do you think Dropkick Murphy is influenced? Yeah, they're like hand in hand almost.
Well, I think
maybe the Dropkicks are a little more I don't know. How would you describe it?
A little bit
Heavy?
more, a little bit more direct, a little bit more heavy. Definitely Irish Americans,
Right.
and more specifically Irish American northeast part of America.
Right.
I mean, they revel in their Boston.
Yeah, definitely.
And I
Yeah.
don't think that's bad. I don't think that's
No.
great. I think that's, hey, this is where we're from.
Great pub music.
And that's the
in,
thing.
in the
is
Irish pub, you know.
I think the Pogues inspired other people to go, hey, I'm Italian and I like punk.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do. I'm Irish too. I'm going to write music like this.
Yeah.
And, you're Spanish. There's a song on here called Fiesta.
Mm-hmm.
I can't understand half the words. But he's, I am whoever, and all men ria. And you're going, what is he saying? But then halfway through the song, it turns into a polka. And it's da 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 da.
Yeah.
And it's listening to polka. They threw polka into us, what they consider to be their Spanish song, but it works.
It works. And there's a lot of beer there, Jeff. So, well, we're almost to the end. Do you have anything else on the Pogues?
I have, well, I mean, I could talk about the Pogues for hours, but it's one of those things where I'd have to go, wait a minute, huh?
So we have to have a Pogues podcast. That's a
don't-
hard thing for a guy
Yeah.
from Jersey to say. So, give me a recap here, Jeff. What we got on mention. Go ahead.
Honorable mention, we have Annie Lennox, diva.
Mm-hmm.
On honorable mention, we have as a concept, Joy Division. Both
Right.
albums, I consider them all the same thing, including the 2 songs that are not on it. On either album, it's a concept. They made the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they deserve it.
Okay.
The Monkees.
Number
Head.
5. Mm-hmm.
It's everything you wouldn't expect to get from the Monkees, plus more.
I'm looking forward to listening to that one.
Number 4, Connells. I think you're going to listen to Fun and Games, and you're going to enjoy it so much you're going to listen to their other albums. And so the first one you need to listen to is Bowling Heights, which was their first album,
Okay.
which is an area from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, where they're from. So they're being true who they are, but you're going to enjoy yourself while you're doing it. Number 3, Stan Ridgway.
With mosquitoes.
With Mosquitoes. He's just one of those people. He enjoys being or talking about the bad things that happen, but
Right.
he's doing it in such an enjoyable way.
Yeah.
You can't help but like it, or at least I can't help but like it.
And, I'm a huge Raymond Chandler fan, so
Yeah. And then number 2, Brian Wilson, Smile,
smile.
which is not the original Beach Boys Smile, though they've tried to release it now their own selves. But it's a man who's redeeming himself
Right.
with his great Lost album. It lives up to its reputation, but the live version is just somehow just slightly better.
Awesome.
And last but not least, number 1, The Pogues, If I Should Fall from Grace with God. It's one of those albums that honestly, I'm feeling a little down. I don't know what's going on. Hey, let's play some Pogues.
There you go.
You're going to walk away. I mean, it's reels, it's jigs, it's traditional Irish music sped up to a punk beat. It's perfect. It is perfect.
A mood for a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need music for a mood for a day. So, well, fantastic stuff, Jeff. We just, and all the friends are, you're going to have to sign a lot of autographs today, Jeff. So, really enjoyed this. And some names, of course, I know Stan and Brian Wilson and the Pogues and Annie Lennox and some of this Monkees. But some of this stuff is uncharted territory for Paulie. So I'm really going to enjoy it. And thank you so much for all your hard work and coming on the podcast. We really had a great time here.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that we were able to speak about these albums. I was hoping that it wasn't going to be me just going, I like it, go next. But
Number
it's
5, number 4, number 3,
yeah.
number 2. No, you did a great job. And
I enjoy talking about this music. And if we didn't have a microphone, I'd still be talking to you about this music.
oh, of course, we talk every day. But the thing is that for me, and I think for you too, and I know Frankie T, the great Frankie T, the musical encyclopedia, he enjoys the whole process of researching for the podcast. It's just fun. It's a little hard work. It's a little indecision, but it's just fun. I really enjoyed so much that Nicole Atkins research because never heard of her, and Allison Sudol too. So I just love that whole process, and I think you seem to enjoy it too. So.
I mean, you're right in the fact that I'm reading the liner notes. I'm going, who played on that? Oh, that's Doug Wimbish. I know Doug Wimbish. I like Doug Wimbish.
Yeah.
Don't know that he played on any other songs, but he played on that one, and I now know that.
Yeah, and you've mentioned quite a few people like Van Dyke Park, so I'm going to get into this, and I really am looking forward to that. Might take me a little while to get through all these, Jeff.
Take your time, because I have a feeling one or two of them you're going to speed through it and listen to it again.
Yeah, I bet I will. So, hey, there we go. And upcoming podcasts, we have Cousin Jack. Cousin Jack had some derailments. He was booked for this week, but we're going to get Cousin Jack on here with his conspiracy theories, his UFOs, and all the things that we love Cousin Jack he's into. He's got his research all done. I think we'll drop that sometime the early part of next week. So that's what I'm going to do. So, hey, please be kind, be gentle, be very tolerant. Remember, kindness is for free. Spread it around as much as you can. It can only make this world a better place. And then I'm going to get Jeff and Frankie T together. We've been thinking about session musicians doing a podcast on that. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy from Paterson, New Jersey. And Jeff, you're just a guy from
Sterling Park, Virginia.
Sterling Park, Virginia. I like the sound of that. So, Jeff, thanks again, and we hope to get you back real soon. And to the listeners, thanks for tuning in. Check out these recordings. I think there's some gems in there. And hey, we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye for now.